right, so we are on the next part. We have made our plate. We have glued all these separate pieces down. And before we move on, I'm going to just show you a couple other plates that have been done. For example, you can see my strawberry here. This was one separate piece here, and then I came back and glued the leaves over the top with the stem. I glued the seeds on individually, so it's just kind of a sandwich of layers here. It's the strawberry, it's the seeds, the leaves, they're all separate. We have the mask, okay, with the original drawing. And then, oops, let me see if I can find this. Oh, this one I guess I don't have, so it's not readily available here, so we'll wait on that one. Yeah, we'll just wait on that one. So anyway, let's talk about how to make a print of this. And so the first thing I want you to do is just on just a piece of scratch paper. This happens to be about the same size. We're going to do a rubbing of this just to see how this turns out. I'm going to grab my crayons. All right, so I'm back, and I've got my scratch paper over the top of it. Probably not a bad idea to put some tape down, but I think for this practice, I'm just going to go ahead and do it by holding it. And you can do one or two colors. I'm going to start with just one for this demonstration. On my final, I will use two colors, but right now I just want to see how everything's turning out. And so I'm going to hold it down at all times. I'm going to make sure that I do the background as well as the hot dog. And you can kind of turn the crayon if you need to, just to make sure you get all the details behind it, in the background, in the bun and everything. And you'll notice that as you go over it, the edges are really starting to pop out here. In fact, if I go over them just a little bit firmer with a crayon, they'll even show up better. So make sure you do the background too. Back here will give you an idea of what your background's going to look like with it. Because that is a part of your print, the background. All right, so yeah, that gives me an idea now of what my hot dog is going to look like. I do think this edge needs to show up a little bit more, so I'll see if I can do that with the crayon. I can if I go over it this way, so that will definitely work. All right, so we're ready to move on to the final. This was our test print. So with the final, the only difference now is that we're going to use a larger piece of paper, and we are going to use a piece of tape to hold it in place. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. And we are going to fit 4 of these on the paper. So we're going to have to make sure that we go the right way. We don't want to put this going up and down like this because we can't fit 4 across. We can, however, fit 4 this way by going 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So, but this does not belong on top. This is actually going to go on the bottom. And so I'm going to line up the edges, make sure it is under there as straight as possible. I'm going to put a little piece of tape at the top just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to pick 2 colors for this first print. I'm going to do 2 colors that I think you're going to be able to see on the screen here. So I'm going to go with the green and the blue here. I usually like to start with the lighter of the 2 colors. Aha, there's my hot dog and mustard showing up. All right, so I'm going to go in one direction for the most part. We'll start going across like this until we get some of the details showing up. And again, take your time. Make sure you go to the edge of your plate. That might even require you to turn your paper. All right, and this doesn't have to be extremely dark. In fact, knowing that I'm going to add a second color, I might just stop right here for now and say, okay, let's go ahead and start with a little bit of blue here. But remember what I said when I did my practice piece, I knew this wasn't going to show up real well. So I'm going to, before I move on to blue, I just want to make that little edge show up. All right, so now I'm going to put some blue on, and I'm going to play around with the blue as in, maybe I'm not going to add the blue everywhere. I'm going to go with a little bit of blue right here, a little hint of blue in this bun piece right here. You'll notice I'm turning my crayon a little bit. All right, and I don't know if I like that that's white right there, so I might put just a little hint of blue in here. And then I'm really going to emphasize blue on the negative space area. So this is where I'm going to really put some heavy blue. So my hot dog and buns are going to be green, which is a little bit of blue, and the background's going to be even bluer. So I'm taking a little more time with that. All right, and so that is, in a sense, the technique that we are going to use. Now, the only other thing we need to talk about is taking your tape off and moving this. So when you're taking this tape off, you want to take and peel it away from your picture. That way you don't rip the paper here. So I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm simply going to slide it over here, line it up on the edge, and do my next print. But I'm going to do two different colors over here, and then I'm going to do two different colors here, and two different colors here. And you can see some finished examples. Okay, some different things that were done with the lollipop, the basketball. Okay, and then there should be more examples that you will see on the bulletin board. So that is it. That is how you finish up your print.